Faizan here and welcome back to my channel Big by Faizan. So today in this video I will show you how to do lamination of pastry. People find it very difficult to do at home, the lamination process of pastry, and believe me that is very easy and simple to do at home. So in this video I will be sharing how to do lamination perfectly and what to do and what not in this video when making your puff pastry at home. So watch the video until end so you will know how to do it perfectly and successfully at home. So let's begin with the process of laminated pastry or puff pastry. To begin with the recipe of puff pastry, you need flour. Here I am taking 250 grams of all-purpose flour. Now here I am adding salt, which is about 5 grams. Make a well at the center with your fingertips. Now into this well I'm gonna put water. To make puff pastry you need chilled water, literally ice chilled water you need to make this puff pastry. Now start working with your fingertips to knead this. At this stage, here I am adding butter when it starts forming the dough. Here I am adding almost 30 grams of butter. Now knead it well until butter incorporates very well into the dough. You need the dough develop the gluten very well. You may find it quite sticky while kneading, but it is totally fine. It will get better and smooth once the gluten starts developing. Now, as you can see, it has turned smooth and soft, meaning gluten has developed very well. Now, the next step is what I'm gonna do. I will give it a shape before processing further. After kneading the dough, let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes, covering with the cling wrap or damp duster or kitchen towel. Dust some flour on the working surface. Now here I am giving it a shape. Why I am giving it a shape? Because we are going to lock in butter block into this dough. It makes the job easier for lamination. So what you need to do, you just need to give it a rectangle shape about double size of your butter block. Make sure all the sides are equal and evenly rolled. You can roll it with the rolling pin and give it a rectangle shape using your hand, or if you have a scraper or anything, you can use that. But make sure you have to give it a rectangular shape. Length and width also depends on the butter block you are going to lock in into this dough. So make sure you are following these steps properly and measurement. I have made puff pastry so many times, so I have an idea how longer I need to roll it and how thick, thin or what length should be. It is done. Now give it a final shape before keeping it for resting. Now you can see how it looks from the top. See, it is rectangular even from all the sides, and you can measure the length of this sheet or dough. Keep it aside, covering with the cling wrap, or you can use damp duster. Now the next step is preparing a butter block to lock in into the dough. Here I have taken 100 grams of butter. I am dusting very little flour on the surface of the butter. Now using a rolling pin, I am just giving a tap, gentle tap. One more thing to remember is your butter should be at room temperature, so it will get easy to handle it or roll it. Roll the butter to match up the size of your or length of your rolled or rectangle piece of dough. Give it a nice rectangle shape using plastic scraper. This also should be even from all the sides because we are going to lock it into the dough. If your butter block is uneven, it will spread unevenly into the dough and will get uneven layers of butter and dough in your puff pastry. And that is not a good thing though. Dust some flour on the surface. Take the dough back on the surface, working surface. Now this is the most important step while making a puff pastry. Place it carefully on the half of your dough and turn the rest of the dough over butter. Make sure it is at the center, bottom center. Cover it carefully. It should cover from all the sides. Lock in means just lock the butter block into the dough. The way I am doing it, you can follow this step. Just seal it properly, taking bottom layer to the top and press it lightly with the finger. Seal it properly so your butter will not rolling. While working with the puff pastry, you need to keep it cool all the time. So after locking the butter, I'm gonna put this in the fridge for about 10 minutes. Not longer than 10 minutes or butter will get hard and the butter chunks could tear up the dough. After 10 minutes, take the dough out from the fridge and dust some flour on the working surface. Here I'm gonna show you how to do a first fold. Dust some flour on the surface of your puff pastry and start pressing it with rolling pin lightly to make sure your butter will spread all over. The first fold is always the difficult one because your butter is still at the center with a single layer of the dough. Keep maintaining the rectangle shape throughout the process of making puff pastry. As you can see, I have already started maintaining the rectangle shape by using my hands. Roll it with the rolling pin and maintain the rectangle shape. You can rotate your puff pastry sheet while rolling but never ever flip it over. Roll it from one side only. Roll it carefully using light hand. If you try to press it hard or a bit hard while rolling, your butter will come out from the sides or also may tear the dough. Keep the sides square to maintain the rectangle shape of our puff pastry sheet. As I have said earlier, you can use your plastic scraper to maintain the rectangle of your sheet. Now I am rotating it to roll it to the lengthwise. In my culinary school, we were taught making puff pastry in our first year, and believe me, I could not make puff pastry in my entire first year. If you see bubbles, then you can use a knife, sharp knife, to remove the bubbles by slitting the dough lightly and just tap it with your finger lightly. After failing to make puff pastry at college, I have tried making puff pastry so many times I don't even remember the numbers how many times I've tried this at home. Now I can make it anytime. So alhamdulillah. Now let's pay attention. I will show you how to do first fold. Take the half of the dough to the center. Stretch a bit to meet the edges. And follow with taking the other side at the center. Stretch a bit to meet the edges. This is called four-fold or a book fold. Now fold it like we do for a book. So the question is, why do we call it a four-fold? Because when you fold it this way, you will see 4 layers of the dough. 1, 2, 3 and 4. See? Now it will rest in the fridge for about 15 minutes. As I said earlier, you have to keep it chilled all the time throughout the process. After 15 minutes, take it out from the fridge, dust the flour on the surface and again start rolling it. Now I'm gonna show you how to do a second fold, which is a bit different than the first fold. Follow the same process by putting some flour on the surface, pressing a bit very lightly with the rolling pin, spreading the butter throughout the dough. A tip I want to share with you all to roll the puff pastry: always starts with rolling to width, then follow it with rolling lengthwise. You can rotate it, but beware of flipping it over. Roll it through width by maintaining the proper rectangle of your sheet. Roll it back and start rolling it to the lengthwise. After rolling it properly, time to give it a second fold, which is three-fold. Take half the dough to the center and take the other half over the first half. This is called threefold. So do I need to tell you why does it called threefold? Wait, I will show you. It is called threefold because you will see after folding there are three layers of the dough and butter. 1, 2, 3. Again, it will go in the fridge to rest for about 15 minutes. Cover it with the damp duster or a cling wrap. I have a damp duster today, so I'm using this. I prefer cling wrap, but I don't have right now, so it's totally fine. It works well. After 15 minutes, take it out, and now time to give it fold number 3. And fold number 3 is again a 4-fold or a book fold. Begin with following the same process as we have done in the first fold. Start pressing the dough lightly with the rolling pin to spread the butter evenly. And again roll it to width first. After first and second fold, your third and fourth fold will get easier to roll and to fold. Still, you have to be very careful while rolling it. It is not that much easy if you rush while rolling, or if you do it in a hurry, then you will get your puff pastry spoiled. It takes patience and a bit effort. All the game is of patience in making a puff pastry. Roll it evenly. See how beautiful rectangle it is. If you don't maintain the rectangular size throughout the process, you will get it harder to roll it, or fold it. If you keep it clean rectangle, then it will get easy to roll and to fold. And you will get even and proper layer of butter and the dough in your puff pastry, which results in amazing light and flaky puff pastry, which cannot be described in words. What can be better than buttery flaky puff pastry? And also when it is being made at home by your hands with putting so much patience and efforts, just beautiful, totally worth it. Now here fold number 3 is again a book fold. Now you can see our sheet has got quite larger or bigger while reaching to fold number 3. It is a book fold, so take the half of the dough to the center and other half to meet the half of the dough at the center. Stretch a bit to meet the edges. And fold it over. It should be sealed and properly covered. Amazing, how beautiful. I just love this process of making puff pastry. Now this is our second last fold, 4-fold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it rest in the fridge for about 15 minutes. If you roll the dough longer or take too much time to roll it, then your butter will get melt and may ooze out from the dough or can mix up with the dough, and that is not a good thing to make a puff pastry. So this is our last fold, which is fold number 4, and in this we're gonna do 3 fold. Now we are very close to finish the lamination process. 3 fold I'm gonna give it. Take the half of the dough to the center and fold the rest of the half over the half dough. So here our lamination process has been done successfully. Alhamdulillah. 3 fold, as you can see, 1, 2, 3. Now ideally we have to keep it in the fridge for about an hour, but to show you I will cut it into half. I also cannot wait to see the layers of butter in my puff pastry. So for that, I will show you by cutting it into half right now. Always use a sharp knife to cut your puff pastry. Here I've got my chef knife, sharp chef knife. As I've said, we have to keep it in the fridge for about an hour before cutting it. To show you, I am doing this right now so you can see the layers. Can you see this? Now you can see it, I think. Yes. Can you see the layers of butter evenly spreaded? This is our puff pastry. Now in my other videos, I will show you what products you can make using this puff pastry, inshallah.